Could the Chicago Bears have bigger plans for Roschon Johnson than we all think? Let's talk about it, people. What is going on, y'all? Fox Sports all back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, guys, please do hit that subscribe button down below. Please make sure to hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video. All right, let us hop right into this. So, I wanted to talk about this because I feel like in the whole running back discussion, we've talked about going ahead and acquiring a running back via free agency. Obviously, we did draft a running back very late in the very last round, but we did. And then there's been the whole debate about, hey, DeAndre Swift is not good enough. What is the deal here with the running back room? And so the forgotten man in the room has sort of been Roschon Johnson. And I'm guilty of that too. All right. I've kind of overlooked him. But should we be overlooking Roschon? And the reason I asked that is because Albert Breer recently had a video in which he talked about a question from a Bears fan who asked him, should the Bears look to sign a guy like Nick Chubb in free agency? And to that, Breer basically said the following. He said, from what I understand, the Bears are going to first look from within and see how they feel about their running back room, and then sort of assess what the situation is like if they need to bring in somebody from the outside. And look, that's not breaking news at all. I've even talked about that, I think, a few weeks back, maybe a month back. But what was interesting is what he basically said, which is, hey, you got DeAndre Swift there, all right? And we all know Ben Johnson did move on from DeAndre Swift, but that was because Detroit at the time, he said, believed that Swift had injury concerns, and so they wanted to basically, get ahead of that instead of, deal with it. And that was the year they ended up drafting Jahmyr Gibbs. And then also, he basically mentioned the fact that Roschon Johnson is a guy that could fit, he didn't do a direct comp, but could fit into the David Montgomery mold for the Bears. Again, assuming DeAndre Swift fits into the Jahmyr Gibbs mold. Again, not a one-to-one, comparison here. Much bigger downgrade for both of these guys. But he basically did compare, Roschon to Monty. And that got me thinking, all right, look, yes, that would be the, direct comp here if we are looking at guys that would essentially, fit that role when you're talking about Gibbs and Monty, because Roschon's not filling the Gibbs role, right? And then I'm thinking more about Roschon, and I'm like, okay, look, man, former fourth-round pick, averaged 4.3 yards per carry in his rookie season, almost 400 rushing yards. Again, didn't have a lot of carries. I think just 81. We were pretty high on this guy, and I was as well. And he's a guy who's a decent pass blocker, good in short yardage. So it's like, why are we sort of out on Roschon? And it's not that we're out on Roschon. It's just the fact that we know that he's got a ceiling, right? He's not like a guy that you give 20, 25 plus carries to, right? As a starting level running back. But does this mean that Ben Johnson could be looking at a split right down the middle, 50-50 between these two guys, right? And look, I do think Roschon has talent, and I do think he can be used in a variety of different ways. Obviously, he brings a completely different skill set than a DeAndre Swift, who's more of a pass-catching back. But Roschon can do some things. He can catch the football. So, to me, I think we're overlooking the fact that, hey, if Ben Johnson wanted to get a running back, he would have gotten one by now. Ben Johnson is running the show. There's no doubt about that, people. He is running the show. What Ben Johnson wants, he is getting with this team, right? He wanted a tight end with the first pick. He got that in Colson Loveland. He wanted a receiver with the second pick. He got that in Luther Burden. If he wanted a running back, and again, I know teams went ahead and sniped at the Bears like the Patriots did, but if he wanted a running back, he could have gotten one in the third round or fourth round. He passed on the running back for a reason. My point to you is, look, maybe he does have a bigger role for Roschon than we all think. Maybe he's just going to play this thing 50-50. And again, we don't know what the role is going to be for the rookie Kyle Mann guy. We'll see. I just, didn't want to put a lot on his plate as a seventh round rookie. But again, I've used the comparison for Isaiah Pacheco with the Chiefs. Like, it could happen, a seventh round rookie running back coming in and making an impact, being a starter. But I'm not counting on it. So to me, don't overlook Roschon. It could be a 50-50 split. I don't think it will be. I think it'll be more like 65-35 with Swift and with Roschon. But certainly you can see him fit into that, short yardage role, and I think he's going to get a lot of short yardage touchdowns. And then the other thing, too, is that, hey, Ben Johnson didn't go out and get a running back, but he could just be turning the Bears into a complete pass-happy team. But that does not register to me as well, because a lot of Ben Johnson's offense is predicated on play action. And to do play action, you have to have a good running game. So he believes in running the football. I believe the Bears will run the football. Again, that's my hope, looking at Ben Johnson's past. But hey, he's got all the toys in the world with the receiver. So maybe he could just, go ahead and use the short passing game as an extension of the running game. Either which way, I think we just got to keep our antennas up for a Roschon Johnson, because he's a guy that's clearly got a role for this team. And I think he's going to be used as such. So, yeah, I don't mind that. I think he's a guy that could, certainly play that Monty role for us, and we'll see. But, yeah, man, I think Ben Johnson has definitely got some interesting plans for the running back room. We'll see. But I still wouldn't rule out them acquiring a guy in free agency. So we'll see about that. But let me know what you guys think about that. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts as always. Thanks for watching.